impromptu speeches where people come up and have to talk about whatever questions posed to them. The theme of the meeting, I want to talk about that a little bit. So the meeting theme is called Every Day is a School Day. I was thinking about something the other day, and what I was thinking about was when I graduated, I was just casting my mind back. I remember this conversation where I was saying to somebody that this is great, that's it now, there's no more learning to do, I've done all the learning, so I'm just going to go and work, and the hard bit's over. And then the conversation I had, somebody said to me, well, that's totally wrong, because this is where the hard work begins, and you're actually going to be, doing a lot more learning than what you've done so far. My jaw dropped, because all my illusions were shattered. I can honestly say that was many years ago, and since that point, it's just been non-stop, constant learning. So I work in IT, which means you're constantly having to learn about new technology. Technology now is just totally different to what it was, 15, 20 years ago. And on top of that, you've got the internet, so you've got tons of different sources of information. And I just find that as you go in life, you find more skills and more things that you actually want to learn about. So I've realized that I was so wrong and so kind of deluded, really, because it's going to be like learning probably until the day you expire or whatever. So, right, so without further ado, I'm going to introduce everybody to all the roles that we have tonight. They're going to help with running the meeting. So firstly, I'm going to call on Shira, who's our time, to come talk about his role.
Everyone, my name is Shira, and I will be your timekeeper for this evening. Let me grab this mic. Thank you. So, at Toastmasters, it's important that we finish our speeches on time so we can all go home on time. So, I'll be sat right here and I'll be flicking these cards through. So, if you're doing a table topic, at 1 minute, you will see the green card, and at 1 minute 30, you'll see yellow. And at 2 minutes, you'll see the red card, which means you have 30 seconds to wrap up. And speaker, same goes for you. I will flick the cards according to the respective times allocated for your speeches. And once again, remember, red card means you've got 30 seconds to wrap up. I'll hand it over back to Ray. Thank you.
Next is going to be Valentine. Valentine's actually online, and he's our... he's not online. Okay. He was going to be our counter. Let me go back to my notes. So he was going to be our counter. He's not online. So in that case, let's hope Valentine joins us at some point, and then we're just going to go straight on to the next part of the meeting. So as I said before, we're having table topics tonight. First, which is a number of questions that are going to be posed, and then people are going to be called on to come up and talk about those for anything up to 3 minutes. So our table topic master tonight is Kamal. I'll call on Kamal to come up and start table topics.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome everyone to our meeting. I'm really excited to start tonight's meeting, especially talking about this theme, which is like every day is a school day. Yes, every day is a school day. The world is the classroom and life is a teacher. Yes. So today we'll be learning. Today is our school day. We'll be learning, sharing, and challenging ourselves. If you are feeling comfortable, if you are sat at your home, at your job, at your work, at your office, wherever you are sat and feeling comfortable, nothing is bothering you, you are at the wrong place. That means you should start doing something that is really making you scared, having fear, feeling anxious. This is when you start learning. That's why we are here. And this is what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start calling some people to come here and just like give us a speech maximum in 2 minutes. You don't have to prepare. I'm going to give you a quote, a question, whatever. You just need to make a comment on what I'm going to tell you. Tell us a story using your own way, maximum in 2 minutes. Ready?
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Woo! I like that. So to be honest with you, usually I need to prepare for the questions, but I didn't prepare anything. So I'm just coming here, challenging myself because I'm gonna make it interesting for you. So I'm inviting you now, 2 seconds, right? When you hear every day is a school day, right? What is the first word is coming to your mind? One word. Think about it, 3 seconds. Choose one word. Every day is a school day. Just pick one word, keep it in your mind. Just one, right? And I'm going to call Zubair. Come here. So we've got Zubair here, and I'm going to ask Lucy. What was the word that you have picked?
Study.
Say again?
Study.
Study. Yes, study. We all remember when we went to school to study, and we all remember when we went sometimes our first day at school. So we all have our most memorable experiences at school. Zubair, tell us the most memorable experience that you had at school.
Probably not to do with studying, but playing in the playground.
Yeah.
You know, just playing football, you know, with the guys. Yeah, we just used to run around, you know, just before in the morning. We used to come in around about 8 o'clock before school time, you know, just playing football. That's what all we used to do. And then we used to go to classes as well afterwards. So yeah. Yeah, that's all I know about.
Woo, okay. Thank you very much. Yeah. Okay, football, really nice. Okay, looking forward for the World Cup in November. Yay! So I'm gonna call now Olivia. Join me here on the stage. Yay! And I'm going to ask Regan, what was the word that you picked in your mind?
Oh, when you've association with school.
Say again?
Association with school. So
Yeah.
Homework.
Homework. Wow, homework. So tell us your most memorable story with homework.
Wow. Guess what? Oh, I don't have the microphone.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
How do I? I'll just hold it. It's fine. I'll hold it. So guess what was the only thing I never did at school? Homework. So yeah, I don't know how I actually got away with it. But I just never used to do homework. So actually, when I was in high school, I didn't speak a word of English. So I used to just say, me no speak English. And I think that's what got me out of doing any work at school, which was, yeah, pretty cool. Definitely didn't get me very far in my last first 3, maybe 4 years. And then I think it was towards maybe more, 11 and college that I began to maybe do some homework, which helped me to get pretty good grades, go to university in the UK, study in basically a different language because I didn't speak a word of English. What did green mean? Okay, I've still got time. Amazing. Yeah, so I don't actually know what else to say, so I'm just going to end here.
So even if you are going to end it here, but your journey with Toastmaster just started now, okay? So I'm gonna now check with someone else. John, what was the word that you picked in your mind? Leaving. Living or leaving? Leaving. Okay, so I'm going to call, okay, Tanya. Tanya, when we think about leaving, usually it's sometimes associated with bad experiences or something like that. We start a new challenge. So tell us about one day or sometimes when you decided to leave something and to start something else. Oh, yeah.
Is this to do with school still or
Anything.
anything? Okay. Hello, everyone, including on Zoom. I'm Tanya. So when I think of the word leaving and how I can link this back to something that I've left in the past, I probably would link it back to my business. So I used to own restaurants in a previous life. I owned about 5 in London. And in 2020, I decided I wanted to leave it all, pack it in, and start a new life. So which is why I ended up in Manchester. So when I think about the word leaving, I think of starting new beginnings, and ultimately taking that leap of faith. So that is me, and I'm just going to end it there.
Yay! Wow. Thank you very much, Sanya. What's a powerful, like, very short story, but it gives us like some energy thinking about businesses, thinking about like creating, leading some ideas. Thank you very much. So I'm going to call Ojo. I think they are online. Ojo, can you hear me? Get ready. I'm going to challenge you pretty soon because we are having face-to-face audience and also online audience. Hello. So I'm going to ask Chloe, tell me what was the word that you thought about before when I asked you? Is it school? Yeah. Break time. Break time, yes. So break time, everyone love break time. And I'm going to call Ojo. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Everyone is hearing you here. You are live at Manchester Communicators, and we've got millions of people around the world watching you, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to invite you to tell us about your stories with break time. Tell us about one day you took a break and you didn't go back to the classroom.
Hi, good evening, Toastmasters, guests, and everyone watching. So I say good evening because I'm joining from Nigeria. I think we have about the same time. So good evening. Now, I wish I had the story about when I went out for break time and never came back. But unfortunately, I was missed 2 good issues. So I did always go back. But I'd say that break time was the most exciting for me, especially when I was in primary and secondary school. Break time was exceptional because break time was when you wanted to try out the new games. And break time was also when you wanted to catch up on soap operas. Now, when I was in primary school, usually TV was not 24 hours in Nigeria here. It wasn't 24 hours, so we had to time it. And we had soap operas that we were looking forward, the Latino types, the Telemundo. And there was this one called The Rich Also Cry. Now, I don't know how many of you saw that, and I don't know how many of you are conversant with Telemundos, but well, they could get you actually hooked. So break time was time, catch-up time for Telemundos and catch-up time for The Rich Also Cry. So break time was something we looked forward to. Break time was a time if you had money, you would flaunt it and buy as many things as possible. Break time was phenomenal. Break time was also when you knew who the big girls were and who the favorites were and who was popular and not. And it was usually terrifying if you're on the other side where you didn't have friends, and you probably would wish that break time would not come. So break time for me held so many memories, funny stories of which if I recount, I would go beyond my time, but break time, always memorable. And unfortunately, sorry to disappoint you, but I always went back to class. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Sojo. So you really made us think about our memories with break time. So I think everyone loves break time. So we are here, we took our break from our work, and this is our break time. We are having fun, we are learning. I'm gonna call now, John, come here, please. Everybody applaud John, please. I'm going to ask Samantha. Sam, tell me about the word that you thought about when I asked you at the beginning. Teachers. Woo! Teachers. So John, when you hear the word teachers, what is the most memorable story or memory with teachers that you've met all over your life?
To be honest, I'm probably the worst person to ask this question to, because myself and teachers never really got along when I was younger. I was probably the worst person in the class. So I think for me, I probably thought I was being very funny. I thought I was being witty and charming and smart and all the rest, but I think it was just a massive pain in the backside for the teachers. So now I've got friends who are teachers and I feel sorry for them because they tell me the stories and I think, oh Christ, that was me. So, you know, I get sympathize with them now, whereas hindsight's a wonderful thing. So I suppose looking back now, I wish I'd been a bit more attentive and a bit less gobby, I think, when I was younger. But yeah, I mean, I think they do a hard job. I think some of them make it hard, but controversial. Hope there's no teachers in the room. But no, I think if I look back now, I suppose you've got a bit of regret of it, but ultimately, you know, it is what it is. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Wow, teachers. So I think for myself, like the best memory I've got with teachers, I think one of the best teachers I've met during my life is Life, because she's my best teacher. So she's teaching me every time like something new, and also like she's really in a love relationship with me. I love like my teacher because she's teaching me, which is the theme of today. Like every day is a school day, is learning every day something new. Now I'm going to call Julian. Join me here. Woo! And I'm going to ask Billy, can you please tell me what was the word that you thought about at the beginning? Curiosity. Curiosity, wow. Curiosity, one of the best qualities to start learning new things. Julian, tell us about one day that you were really curious about something.
Did you know that curiosity killed the cat? And did you know that curiosity not always killed the cat? Curiosity killed the cat is an alliteration. Therefore, is why we say that. But in the past, a long time, it was not the cat. It was other thing, which I do not remember. The question, however, is about curiosity. And I'm going to tell you that at school, I was a very curious little kid. However, the day I built the most curiosity on my teacher was the day I arrived late from break. You see, I was the ideal student, good marks, very polite, but that day I hung around in the patio with the teacher, with another teacher. And this happened, coming to the classroom 15 minutes late. The teacher, where have you been? I come with white face, very serious. Something happened, which was true. Something happened. I was 15 minutes late. That's what happened. But the teacher didn't know. She started to think that something happened. I received a call, which was true. My mother had called to the school to tell that she was not coming to pick me up. But the teacher didn't know that. Went straight to my seat. Sit there. And the teacher didn't ask anything. You know why? Because I was a model student. She might thought that I have a valid reason. I didn't have any. But, you know, when you work to create an image of yourself, that later in life pays off. And that's the day where I built such a curiosity on my teacher that until today, she doesn't know what happened.
Thank you, Julian. Thank you very much, Julian. So, wow, curiosity, something really like we need to like start practicing, being curious. But don't put your nose at other people's business. Like I'm not talking about negative curiosity, but the positive one, obviously, to keep the cat alive, right? So I'm going to call now someone in the middle who wants to challenge himself or herself now.
Lucy, I think she told me before.
Lucy, Lucy, come here. Yay! Yes, Lucy. Yes, Lucy. This in your hand, yeah. Okay, and I'm going to ask, yeah, what's your name? Violta. Yeah, so tell me, when you hear like every day is a school day, what is the first word comes to your mind? School bag. Woo, school bag, wow. Wow, a school bag, like backpack, yeah. So, you know, like every school bag is special. So you might have like a very posh school bag, which is like snacks inside and stuff.
Yeah.
And you might have a very like poor, bad like school bag, which is just like empty, you know. So tell us about your school bag. What was very exciting about your school bag?
Okay. I remember in primary school, everybody had the same bag. So it was just a basic blue bag that had the primary school logo on. And then in year 6, everybody was allowed to have whichever bag they wanted to. So I remember going to a shop called Morgan with my mum, and like it was the bags that everybody had in year 6, and getting a really fashionable bag, and then I was quite proud of it. And then in high school, I remember I would constantly change my school bag, and it was kind of a bit of a fashion statement because we had to wear the same uniform. So we would kind of put a lot of effort into our school bag and our shoes as well. So yeah, I kind of have good memories from selecting different school bags and things like that.
Well done, Lucy. Nice one, nice one. She told me at the beginning she was feeling very nervous and she doesn't want to speak, right? So we made your wish come true today. Okay, so yeah, you did really well, Lucy. Well done. Please applaud again for Lucy. Do I have time to challenge someone else? Okay, one more. Is there anyone who wants to challenge him herself? Okay, first one. Yeah, Sebastian. Okay, Sebastian, someone didn't speak us all today. Yeah. Tell me about the first word that comes to my mind, your mind, sorry, when you when you hear about like every day is a school day.
My word was pencil.
Pencil. Woo, pencil. It's sometimes nice to use pencil to write with because it's easy to like clear erase it, right? So do you write your life with a pencil or with like a pen?
That's a very metaphorical question.
Yes.
So I think the first thing that comes to my mind about writing my life with a pen of a pencil, I guess it's a pen, because like I believe we cannot change the past, but we can change our present and our future. So I have to say that I'm very scared right now. This is like the 4th time I do this and the fear doesn't go away. And this is the perfect example and time to say that we can constantly keep rewriting our story. Doesn't mean that we are changing the past, because the past is the past, right? We cannot go back. We cannot do anything to, to change the unfortunate situations that we go through in life, but we can remember about the beautiful things that happen to us and change our lives. So like, for example, right now I'm shaking, but I know this shaking is gonna go away. The most I try, the most I stand up, the most I do my best, I know the shaking one day is gonna be just pure pleasure. So I think life, I write my life with a pen, I know a pencil. Yeah.
Well done. Thank you, Sebastian. Perfect. Well done. What an amazing, nice guys. Well done, everyone. One more. We have the chance to have one more. Race is giving us the opportunity. Yes. Regan, please applaud Regan. Yay. I'm going to ask who didn't speak tonight at all. Who didn't say? Oh yeah. What's your name,
How do you put
please?
this on? Come on.
Yeah. What's your name? Irina. Yes.
Oh, it's on.
So we've got.
I'll just hold it.
Yeah, just wait. We've got Irina here. So Irina, when you hear every day is a school day, what is the first word that comes to your mind? Challenge. Wow. Wow, challenge. Tell us about the most challenging experience you've had before, or a big challenge you've had and made you grow.
All right, so I'm slightly quite nervous because first time you will be speaking in a while. The most challenging thing I would say is doing exams is the most difficult thing. The preparation of achieving the most important result for your future. And I think the preparation the teachers gave us was very tough. We had to develop the skills in class to do very well. So that's the most challenging thing. And when you're in the exam hall, everybody is very quiet. So it's very nerve-wracking. You can't hear any noises. So it's not exactly pleasant. I like to listen to some music whilst I'm studying. So when everybody is so quiet, it's so scary. So that's challenging. And perhaps receiving the results as well is very, you don't know what's going to be at the end of the tunnel. So hopefully you pray that there's going to be light at the end of the tunnel. So yeah, so I believe that it can be challenging, but if you work hard, you will see light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes!
Yeah.
Definitely there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. Ladies and gentlemen, before I start this session, I didn't prepare anything because I wanted to make it as an impromptu challenge for me because it's impromptu speaking. I wanted to make it the same for myself. And this is really like making me growing. I remember 2 years ago, I was standing in front of an audience, shaking, not able to say any one word. And by joining Manchester Communicators really helped me a lot to become really more confident and to give really better speeches and to get better jobs. Ladies and gentlemen, my time came to an end. Hand it over to Race. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Kamal. When you said you had no questions, I was a little bit worried, but you don't need questions when you've got a great concept like that. So I'll take note of that when I do table topics myself. So we're moving on to the next part of the evening. We're done with table topics. Now we're moving on to our main part of the evening, which is speeches that have been prepared. And we've got 3 speeches for you tonight. So the first one is Sam. Sam wants to learn Japanese. She's fascinated with Japanese culture. And I actually kind of agree with her because it's always been on my list to go to Japan, but never quite made it. Sam's going to do a speech from the Effective Coaching Pathway. The speech is called The Friend, and it's about her journey in learning public speaking. So everyone, I'm going to hand you over to Sam.
I've got this friend, right? I've known her for like 20 years. You know, when you meet someone and you could swear that you've met them before, like in another life or something. Anyway, we got on, we hit it off straight away. We got super, super pally. And we just started hanging around everywhere together. So we started hanging around everywhere together. She was always there for me. She knew what to do in every single situation. So I kind of just let her lead the way. But then one day, our relationship took a bit of a dark turn. She began to take over one area of my life. And without me even realizing it, she suddenly had taken over every area of my life. She was like a Siamese twin that was pulling me down and holding me up all at once. So it got to the point where I knew I was going to have to confront her. It was one of the hardest things that I've ever had to do. She was so strong, so powerful, so sure of herself. But when I confronted her, she crumbled before my eyes. And in that moment, I realized that she was just like me, scared of all the uncertainty that life throws at us. Believe it or not, we're actually still friends. She doesn't control me anymore. And if she needs me, I'm there to comfort her. But she never, ever takes control of my life. Actually, I brought her with me tonight. Shall I introduce her? My friend's name is Fear. Fear and I, we've got to know each other pretty well over the years. She first came into my life about 20 years ago when I started a job I felt underqualified to perform. She would show up on a daily basis and I tried to ignore her, but I get this like overwhelming feeling that I just wanted to escape whenever she was near me. So I did. I swapped the grey, rain-splattered streets of the UK for the wild and colourful streets of South America, where my life was so free of obligations that I barely even noticed her. But it wasn't the last I'd seen of her, because right there to greet me on my arrival back in the UK was, you guessed it, my old friend, Thea. She was my co-pilot on every car journey, the monitor of every conversation that I had, until one day the unthinkable happened. It was warm outside the classroom and it was very, very stuffy. I was standing in front of a group of 25 adult students who I loved dearly. I recall at the back of the room a hand shoot up and a distant question being asked. I began to stumble over my words. I could feel my heart pulsing in my neck. And then the icy panic began to seep up from the tips of my toes to the top of my head. And then I felt her brush past my ear, into which she shouted loud and clear, "Run!" Which I did, literally. It's taken me many, many years to confront my fear of speaking, but here I am. And here is what I've learned. Number one, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. If you can embrace discomfort on a daily basis, your resilience will grow exponentially and you'll begin to move towards having the confidence to face your fears. Number two, you don't have to begin by facing your fears head on. Oh my God, this was an absolute revelation to me. If you begin to tackle your fears in seemingly unrelated areas of your life, your courage, like a muscle that is worked consistently, will grow and grow, and it will spread over into all areas of your life. Me, I began my journey across the rickety old bridge of fear with discomfort. Number one, taking ice cold showers in the dead of winter. Oh my God, even with snow outside, this was awful. Then picking up spiders and slugs with my hands. Then onto the slightly scary, singing with a group of 75 women in front of a large audience and a panel of judges. Then onto the front row. Now, just one of 10 women where the focal point is on you. Then, in a quartet, now one of 4 women, singing in front of a panel of 12 judges. And so I continued, gingerly placing one foot in front of the other and simply trusting that the next rung would not give way. Until finally, I reached the other side and into the arms of my greatest challenge to date, public speaking. At which point, I realized there was a whole other rickety bridge to cross. You see, there is no destination here. A life well lived is simply a series of rickety bridges from which to grow, learn, and thrive. Remember this, fear is the compass that will guide you to the places you most need to go. Keep your compass in front of you at all times and let it lead the way. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. Thanks. Right, so now you're going to get the opportunity to give Sam some feedback. A barcode is going to appear on the screen over there. And you can scan that and a form, it'll take you to a form where you can give us some feedback on her speech. So I'll give you all some time to do that, please. Everyone done on feedback or need more time? Kind of want to. That's fine. Yeah, let's leave it, yeah. Okay, I think we're good to move on. Yeah. Right, second speech. So I'm going to introduce Roni. Roni actually said one of the most interesting things I've heard today, actually, earlier on when I spoke to him. And he told me that he wants to develop his leadership skills, but he also said that he wants to, maybe he needs to spend some time just thinking about what it is that he needs to learn. And that's really important because sometimes you just don't know. But the time that you spend trying to work out what it is and which direction you want to go in is actually part of the process. You don't really have to have the answers straight away. So Roni's going to give us a speech from the leadership development pathway. His speech is called The Battle of the Two Wolves. And it's about the power within us and the good that we can do every day. Good luck, Roni.
Well, who wants to listen to a story? Let me see some hands. Yeah. Well, today I'm going to share a story which I learned recently. It's a story about two wolves. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, good evening. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. This story I learned from a Native American parable. An old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. This battle is between two wolves. So the first wolf is good. I mean, the first wolf is evil. He is envy, sorrow, regret, resentment, greed, guilt, unfaithful. Then yeah, and the good wolf, he is kind, he is gentle, he is empathy, compassion, and sorry, I forgot. Compassion and patience, yeah. So the boy asked the old Cherokee, so which wolf will win the battle? The old Cherokee simply replied, it's the one you feed. This story, I hope you understand the story. I couldn't tell the whole story, but you must have got the point. So this story you maybe heard before, but it gives an important reminder of the things we learn. It can create an emotions and experience what we had before. So I myself was feeding the wrong wolf for a very long time. Even now I am. But whenever I feed the good wolf, I could see greater possibilities. There can be many things which can influence while making your power to choose which wolf you want to feed. It could be your past experience, could be your family and friends, or your surroundings or environment. We can create a greater peace, confidence, and a positive outlook by learning how to manage our thoughts. After all, we can win this battle because we have the power to choose. By exercising this freedom of choice, we can decide which wolf to feed. There is a say that tomorrow's expectation and opportunities are the choice which you are making it today. So everything follows. Whatever choice you made today, that will replicate for tomorrow. So I will conclude this by asking a question: which wolf are you feeding, the good or the bad? Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Roni. I'd just add that that's Roni's icebreaker. I think it's an amazing job. I should have mentioned that before the speech. Okay. Right. So same as before, we're going to give some feedback. So if Julian, if you can bring up the QR code, it's same form, same process as before. All done on feedback? Nearly there? Okay. Great, I think we're good. Julian, to move on. So final speech of the evening. This is the third prepared speech. So just let me tell you a little bit about the speech itself. So Ubuntu means that it escapes me at the moment, the actual definition of Ubuntu, what it means. I'm gonna have to look it up, sorry. On blank. Right. Ubuntu is the name of the speech, and Ubuntu means I exist because of you. So all is going to come up and present the speech. The speech is from the effective leadership pathway, and his objective for the speech is to connect with the audience. He's going to do that by presenting on a topic that the audience is unfamiliar with. Hand over to Ola. Woo!
Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Ubuntu. Those are African words and virtues which I'm always proud to represent. Ubuntu means I am me because we all exist. Ubuntu also means how can I be happy when you are sad in Ukraine or anywhere in the world? Ubuntu also represents a community where we all help each other as we rise by lifting each other up as part of the African virtues. So today, I'm going to reconnect your memory lane to the beauty of Ubuntu, which we all have just seen within the past few days. All over the world, we all can testify our Royal Majesty, the Queen Elizabeth II, was celebrated all over the globe in a special way, based on her service to humanity, based on her service to mankind, based on her selfless sacrifice to the whole of the world. And yesterday, 2 days ago, Thursday, Friday, she demonstrated that in true reality of embracing the African culture of Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Ubuntu. If you observe the parade or activities that was lined up to celebrate the Queen, you will observe the beauty of unity in which one person's service to mankind has made us all feel the importance of that service to humanity. So at this point, I ask myself, and I'm going to ask you, have you also been serving humanity in your own little way? These are questions begging for answers in our hearts. And part of my righteous action is, let's ask ourselves, if we're saying we are one humanity, diversion and inclusion, have you tried to learn how to say hello in another country's man's language? Just my friend there, Olivia, she's from Poland, and I'm going to say Jak się masz in hello to our language. My good friend Julian, he is from Spain. Hola, ¿cómo está? And that's the beauty. My friend from Portugal, hola. And my friend from India, different ways. Even my friend from Arabic states, salamu alaikum. And my Jewish friend, shalom. These are practical actions we all could take to connect to each other as one humanity, which are part of the virtues of Ubuntu, Ubuntu, Ubuntu. They are just no words, but a reflection of our African style. I am proudly Nigerian from the royalty family. I am a proudly African as I represent standing with my necklace, standing with my dignity of honor. But I just believe I must not just live by just those words, but I must replicate it by serving humanity and make a positive impact. I must observe that we are all one humanity, irrespective of our color, orientation, gender, our country, or wherever we are from. And today, I'll be sharing to you the virtues from a short story from the Ubuntu culture that originated to us know Ubuntu. The inspirational story was about an anthropologist who traveled all over the world and found himself in Africa. And as a test, he called out 10 children within the age of 5 to 7. And he said, I'm going to be placing a bowl of sweets here. This bowl of sweets. I'm going to ask all of you to go back 100 meters backward. And whoever have the power and ability to run fast, get to the sweets, will take everything home. The kids were amazed. Really? We're going to get it first. And they all stepped back within themselves. Those kids, 10 in numbers. Do you want to know what actions they took? Let me marvel you with answers to their actions. Straight away, the 10 kids held each other's hand, lined up, and ran collectively. They got to the same place where the sweets were. They all took the sweets, shared it equally. And they took the sweets, licked it, and enjoyed the moment together. The anthropologist was amazed, was flabbergasted, was surprised, like the same way you're surprised online, and asked, why was that action taken? And the kid said, Ubuntu. The man asked again, what did you say? Why did you all do that? Why didn't you or you go first? Second child said, Ubuntu. The man was still amazed, doesn't understand, as an anthropologist being traveling all around the world, said, why did you guys say Ubuntu? And one of the bold children all echoed, Ubuntu means, how can I be happy when you are sad? But we all need to share the sweets all together so we all can be happy. It sounds so interesting, you hearing that word or statement from a year-old of 5 to 7. But how interesting the impact of those words changed the orientation of the anthropologist when he needed to travel back to his country, which is England. And this emphasized the fact that if we all stand together as one humanity, we all can make the world a better place. Peace means a lot, but it's a radiation of how we all present it and how we all believe in the actions to prove it. And we all accepting each other as my brother, my sister, my friend, as we are all one humanity. But these actions need to be taken collectively. So today, if you resonate in the voices of those little kids 100 years ago, and you believe in the spirit of Ubuntu, can I humbly request you, if you're online, if you're in this room, let's all rise in the Ubuntu spirit, and let's all shake ourselves, turn the hands around, and let's pass the unity of Ubuntu, because we are all one. Can we just pass the hand around? Stand up, rise, and have a hand around, as we are all one. Ubuntu, 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 Ubuntu. And these voices are not just voices, but it's all about we taking action to believe we are all one. It's all about we taking action to ensure we fight for diversity and inclusion and being a good reflection of what we preach. Today, I say, Ubuntu! 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 Thank you.
Many thanks, Solo. When I came here tonight, I knew the word, but I never saw myself chanting Ubuntu at any point during the evening. That was wonderful. Thank you. Right, as always, on to feedback. So same routine. I'm just going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. Julian. I think we might have to adjust it a bit. Some people are struggling to scan the whole thing. Cutting a bit off the bottom. That should be better. That should work. Yeah. Okay, cool. I think there's a couple of people struggling with the barcodes. We'll just give it another minute for evaluation. Right, I think we're mostly done. So 1 or 2 left, actually. No. Whoa. Okay, go ahead, yeah. Okay, so we're moving on to the next part of the evening. So this part is all about evaluations. So there have been people here during the evening who are doing a role, and that role is to evaluate the speeches that we've had. So all those people are going to come back now and report back on the speeches. The first person I'm going to introduce is Sam. Sam is a table topics evaluator. If I can ask you to come to the stage, Sam.
Wow, so many newbies doing table topics. I think like maybe there was about 3 that went first timers. So round of applause for everyone. Really tough doing a table topic, even if you're not a newbie. I always say the same thing. It's hard. Really great session off the cuff. Love that, challenging yourself. See, clever, Kamal. So we started with Zuba. First time, right? You seemed relaxed. Did you feel nervous? You didn't look it. You seemed relaxed. You went straight in and answered the question. You can buy yourself a bit of time by maybe not answering the question directly. Sometimes that's a good way to do it, but absolutely brilliant. I think everybody qualifies. So you actually spoke for the minimum time that you needed to. Olivia, another first timer. Olivia, you seemed really relaxed. Oh, you look confident up here. You encouraged the audience to join in immediately, which is really good, and that helps put you at ease. You used humour straight away, which is very good tactic. I was really interested that you didn't speak English, and I wanted to know more about that, and then you kind of went on to something else. So any personal stories that are quite unique to you, it's really quite good to develop them a bit more. Tanya, another first timer, again, brilliant table topic. You gave some personal information. We always want personal information. I do. It just makes it interesting, and some nice reflections on what the word actually meant, which is quite another way to kind of buy time as well. Then on Zoom, was it Jojo? What's it? Ojo, okay. Really relaxed, really clear speaker, lovely smiley face. Again, she told us quite a personal story and drew us in, and she did quite a long one actually. She spoke right until the end. Then John got up and instant humour again, which is perfect because it puts the audience at ease, but also puts you at ease, doesn't it? And it gives you a bit of time to think. Really good. Initially, you spoke to Kamal a bit, which is just a nervous thing, I think, rather than the audience. And then you kind of did speak to everyone after that. So we just have to try and speak to the audience if we can. Julian, obviously, is an expert at this. Got a quote in, humour straight away. Quite a long intro. I think he was buying himself time to have a think. So that's, perfect example of what we can do. Obviously, Julian has lots and lots of presence. He's got some really good gestures and stuff. So he does draw us in. I thought your link to curiosity was a bit tenuous, but your presence and the way you speak is always wonderful. Lucy, oh, you got up here straight away, even though you specifically said you didn't want to come up. So well done. You told us again a personal story. You said you were really nervous. It didn't really come off. You didn't seem to be that nervous. So just well done for just getting up, even though you really didn't want to. Sebastian, oh my God, I loved it. I thought your answer was amazing. The question was very tricky, how it was phrased. I think we were all scratching our heads. I think you gave a really metaphorical answer, but it was just so clever and so relevant to the room and to, you know, what the kind of people here want to learn. So it's absolutely brilliant. And you also stated that you were scared, which I think is really helpful to put you at ease, because it is scary and that can just give you a few moments to breathe. But really, really good answer. Regan, another first timer, yeah. So you said you were nervous, but you just got up. You actually nominated yourself, so well done for that. You volunteered yourself.
I got afraid to record me. I wanted to step out.
Exactly. So that was really good. You volunteered yourself, you used your gestures, you spoke clearly, and actually you did look at everyone, and you ended on a summary, which is quite advanced, really. So well done. Yeah, brilliant. Everyone. Well done.
Thank you, Sam. Sam is a lady with many hats today. I think that's 3 roles she's done. I'm very glad to let you know that she's not going to be evaluating her own speech, thankfully. We're going to ask Paul to come to the stage, and Paul is going to come and evaluate Sam's speech, the friend. Paul?
Okay, so fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, so today I have a privilege to evaluate our wonderful, tenacious and persistent Toastmaster Sam. And whoa, what a speech that was. I don't know why, I just want to say, Obutu. Yes, that was a fantastic speech. And first of all, I wanted to say, what's the best way to start a speech? Of course, with a story. And that's what Toastmaster Sam did. She started off with a story, and she told us about her old school friend. And she was building up the anticipation. And I was sat there and I was listening. And then she said, and I was actually waiting. I wanted to know who that friend was, who dared to confront Sam. And then she said, that friend is here in the building. And I started rolling up my sleeves. I was like, okay, I'm going to speak to that friend right now. And then she said, that was fear. And I said to myself, wow, I know that friend. I know that friend because I've been battling with fear for so many years. And that's, I think, what made this speech very relatable to all of us, I believe, because we're all here for a reason, right? Some of us want to improve our public speaking skills. Some of us just want to gain more confidence. And fear is always there. And that's what I think made this speech special, first of all. And then, of course, you can tell Toastmaster Sam, she's a very experienced Toastmaster, and she used some very incredible techniques just to make the speech fantastic. So first of all, she used her body language. The way she used the space on the stage, she was showing us how she was literally overcoming that fear. She was making that step forward, then again and again, and I felt like I was there. She was painting the picture for all of us. Secondly, the way she projects herself, the confidence, as she was standing, she wasn't somewhere there in the corner hiding. She was just here in the middle so we can see, so that everyone can see her. I really love how she was able to project that energy onto us and give a speech confidently. And thirdly, I think just the energy. There's something about Sam that every time she gets on the stage, you just want to smile, right? Who would agree with that? Yes. She's got that energy about her, and every time she gives a speech, I love it. She just projects that positivity, charisma, energy, and every time you speak, I really love it, and I want to hear it more and more and more. So maybe 2 things that you could potentially improve, although the speech was fantastic from my opinion. Maybe just the use of stage, but I know you kind of used the stage that way. Maybe, I don't know, maybe try and go right or left, try to engage with people on the side, because I felt like you were mainly in the middle. And I think just at the beginning, you kind of lost the track of thoughts, but that can happen with all of us, as she said, like fear is kind of like the muscle. You know, it's something that we need to exercise every time. And that comes, I guess, and goes, but she was able to handle that. So respect. But overall, as I said, I just want to hear you speak more. It was a fantastic speech. And let's just say Opu. Obutu! Thank you.
What is it with that word? Okay. You may, I'm sure you remember that Roni gave his icebreaker tonight, speech 2, the Battle of the Two Wolves. So I'm going to invite Roni's evaluator, which is another person with many hats tonight, Julian, to come to the stage to give the evaluation. Thanks.
Dear fellow Toastmasters, dear Ronnie, I must congratulate you because what you saw today is a man fighting Sam's friends, fear. And we could all see that he was struggling. However, you have the courage to come here, stand up in front of an audience. Some of them you have never seen them before. Some of them you will never see them again. Never mind. You deliver your speech and you were struggling. That's fine. That's what we do here. We struggle. We fight against our fears and we become better at what we do. So for that, I want to give you another round of applause. Now, stop of building up because you might think that you are the best speaker in the world, and unfortunately, there is still room to improve. Couple of pieces of advice I can give you. You are talking about two wolves, isn't it? But you are moving all the time here, there, because you are so nervous. All right. Yeah. Open your legs. Yeah. Root yourself and speak. Try to avoid to move. Now, because this speech is about two wolves, it would have been interesting, though, to move. And the nice wolf is here, smiley, patient. And the evil wolf is here, blah, 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 blah. So you make the contrast. Yeah. However, this will come farther down the line. You will get used to all the tricks in the book. What you have done today, I think, is something that many people in this room will say, wow, I want to do that. Well, that's easy. You join the club and you can do it. The good thing is that now, when you go home, you will watch the video and you will see yourself. All right, I do this, I do that. How I can improve it? And the next speech, it will be much better. However, the positive thing is that you made your first speech. So, congratulations.
Okay, so now we have a final evaluation of the evening. And the name of the speech is Ubuntu. Ubuntu, exactly. Ubuntu. I was just trying to get everybody to chant it. Yeah, so to come and review, to give an evaluation on Ubuntu is Chira.
Here's a handful. Right, there we go. Ubuntu. 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 Wow, that was something. Right, so when you join Toastmasters, you engage in these pathways, which is a series of different speeches. And Ola today was giving a speech from the dynamic leadership pathway. And this speech was all about connecting with your audience. So I'm just going to read out this snippet of the project just to give you a bit of context. Present a speech on a topic that is new or unfamiliar to club members to practice adapting during the presentation, adapt to the audience reaction, and maintain engagement. And I think Ola did a fantastic job. So my role today is to pick out some of the stuff that Ola did well and give him some recommendations so that the next time he comes up here, he can improve and keep working on his public speaking skills. So Ola is a very experienced Toastmaster, so he had quite a few tricks up his sleeves, which I will go into in a moment. So the first thing I noticed was the preparation. Obviously, you can see the amazing, colorful, vibrant outfit, looking very cool there, Ola. And the second little thing I noticed he did was he asked the introduction to be made by the Toastmaster and to share the meaning of the word Ubuntu. I thought that was nice. So we see the title and it gives a bit of context to the audience to give a bit of an insight of what to expect. So that was very well done in terms of preparation. Second thing, relatability, making it adapting to the audience. So going on to the meaning of the Ubuntu, I thought Ola did a fantastic job connecting on what that means to all of us. And secondly, related it to what just happened a few days ago, the Jubilee weekend, and what was going on and how that relates to Ubuntu. And finally, this was my favorite thing, showed off his language skills. So picked on Olivia, said something, greeted in Polish, picked on Julian, greeted in Spanish, picked with a lady over there, greeted in Portuguese, and Kamal as well, who's from Morocco. So a few things going on there. He obviously knows how to greet people in several different languages, which is great. And he expressed that without any hesitation. But again, it's a case of knowing your audience. So when he came here today, probably spoke with a few of you, get to know some of you so that he knows who to pick and select during his speech. So that was a very good demonstration of how to adapt and utilize the audience. One little recommendation I would give for all over there is to allow a bit of room for the audience to interact. So if you had maybe allowed Kamal to greet back in his language or Olivia to greet back in her language, that would have just made that a little bit better. And that's something I would recommend it for next time. Fantastic voice variation. Went from having a strong, deep voice to almost having a very squeaky voice, going into the different scenarios in his speech. And I thought that was an opportunity to go into a bit of a character, which you did, but I thought if you had really gone into those characters, that would have made it a little bit more better. So that's, again, a recommendation I have for you for next time. The final recommendation I have for Ola is, in true Ubuntu fashion, you spoke about a bowl of sweets, and I think we would all appreciate a bowl of sweets. So in true Ubuntu fashion, Ola, I can't wait to hear your next speech and a treat from you. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chira. Thank you all, the evaluators. So we're done with evaluations. Now we're going to have a number of people that are going to come back and they're going to report on the meeting and give us their reports. And some of those people are actually online. So the first person is Valentine, and Valentine is the R counter, and he's going to come back and give us his report now. Valentine?
Certainly, Mr. Toastmaster, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. My apologies, I won't be able to switch on my video. So I'm going to give the R and R counter. The first person, Tanya, I counted 1 R. Ojo, I counted also 1 R. Then John, I counted 2 R's. Sebastian, I counted 2 R's and 4 and. Regan takes the trophy. Regan had 4 R's. So 5 so's and 3 A's. Regan tends to drag his words and in the process turns them into filler words. Ronnie accounted 1 ya, 1 R, and 1 so. Paul accounted secondly, twice, filler word. and 1 saw. And Gerald, hope I got the name correct, our last evaluator, he had 1 R and 2 R's. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Back to you.
Next, we have Chiro, who's coming back to us again. Timer? Timer? Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, Chiro stepped in the last minute to be timer.
Yes.
So you okay to report back?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So typically we have voting that happens in some of our meetings. So that's when the timer role comes into play and to see if you're qualified. So I noticed with some of the table topics speakers, particularly who are here for the first time, you could have definitely used the stage a bit more. So don't be afraid by the green light. Green light just means keep going. And yellow typically means you're halfway through, and red is just as simple as say you've got 30 seconds to wrap up. All our speakers were on time, so they qualified. Bang on time, Ola, as well as Sam. So you qualified within your respective time. So that's what I've got to report. Thank you very much.
And the final report that we're going to have is online again. It's Feluke. So Feluke is going to come back and her role is general evaluator. So she's going to give a report on the whole evening and all of the roles. Thank you, Feluke.
Thank you, Ray. As always, sorry, am I echoing? I feel like I am. So. Sorry about that. Can you hear me, please?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Yes. Okay. As usual, it's a privilege to evaluate tonight's meeting. I really think I'd like to say a big thank you to everyone for showing up. It's always a team effort, and tonight was no different. The role players played their role perfectly. They understood what they were supposed to do. A big round of applause to all the speakers, Sam, Ronnie, and Ola with his Agbada and Obuti. Yeah, that was an interesting speech. And Ronnie, congratulations on your icebreaker. I can only get better from here. I'd say, Ray's well done for coordinating the meeting. Toastmaster, being Toastmaster is always a challenging role, but you stepped up and you did it very well. You ensured seamless handover. The energy in the room was up all through the meeting. I also like the fact, I'd like to mention that there's been massive improvement in the audio for online guests. That was something we mentioned a while back, and happy to say that it had been fixed. Also, the Zoom link for people to join in was provided right on time. So it's continuous improvement. You can see that the quality of our meetings just keep getting better. I like also that the impromptu, the table topic session, the guests online were also allowed to participate. So they were not just isolated online, they were also a part of the meeting. What do I think we could do better? I would have liked to hear more about the theme of the day. For instance, maybe a role player saying a new thing they had learned recently. I would also, I think mentioned this before about the timing of the speeches for online guests. Online guests are not able to know when to stop or when to, because there are 2 cameras. So essentially they either have to switch so that they can know when it's red and when it's green. But I believe that can also be sorted out over time. But overall, I think it was a great meeting. I think what I appreciate the most is teamwork, effort, people not minding taking on 2 roles just to ensure that we have a successful meeting. A big welcome to all the guests in the house. We hope that you join us very soon. It was a great meeting. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. So that brings the evening to a close. We finished the whole agenda. I hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did, thoroughly enjoyed it, especially some specific things that come to mind. The one thing I want to add is just thanks again, because I know you can be doing all sorts of other things, guests and members, but you chose to come here. So I hope you benefited from your time. I know I learned some new things as well. So thank you very much, everybody. Just to close the meeting, I'm going to hand you over to Julian. Julian?
Briefly. Wait. No, sorry. Who wants to join the club? Well, you are already there. Choose. Okay, fine. If you want to join the club, go to the website www.manchestercommunicators.co.uk, and there is a section that says join us, something like that. So yeah, fill your details there, and I will send you how much it is. Roughly is 30 quid to join the club plus £10 per month. Bad news is you have to pay upfront, but you will see that it's worth it. Now, because Lucy, you are going to be part of the club. How did you feel?
Kind of excited, but also nervous, because I know it's going to be difficult going forward. But I'm excited about it.
What do you think when somebody say your name and encourage you to come here? What are you feeling?
I felt like I wasn't really, I couldn't really comprehend it. I was just kind of doing it, but I wasn't really. I was like in the start of days.
Okay, these two ladies, yeah, you have not spoken. What do you think about the meeting?
Hello everyone, my name is Medina. Sorry, I was working in a situation.
The question is,
Yeah,
what do you think about the
sorry.
meeting?
My feedback is that this room is full of people that they decide to stand up and do the challenge. Come here, everybody decide to get up out of their comfort zone, and I see that everybody is trying to do something. With some, I think it's a good example of what Chia was saying, and we can see that with the progress, the product is that you can engage and connect with your audience in a very, very good way, and I can see that help with the work. With
in one sentence, one sentence. What is the takeaway of today? One sentence.
It's worth it.
It's worth it. Fantastic. Sebastian, what made you decide to join the club?
Well, mainly to overcome my fear of speaking. Secondly, talk to new people, get to new.
One of the keys of public speaking is that we start on time, and today we did. Thank you much for coming, and I hope to see you in 2 weeks' time.